He's doing such an amazing job. Morara aendelee kabisa. Endelea kufinya kabisa. Nataka blood pressure ya serikali. Sasa zile wanakaa hivi, wakienda kutafuta Morara sijui wapi, sisi tunaweka hapa maandamano ama prayer day. Wakirudi huku kutuma anti-riot, sisi tunaenda huko pali Morara alikuwa. Keep on doing it. This thing is not easy. You think I wanted it? I didn't want to be known as a politician, at least not now. I didn't want to be known as this. I wanted to play music and kiss my girlfriend and play with my children. That's what I want to do. I want to go out and do funny TikToks with my nieces. That's what I want to do. If I walk around here not being safe, my life is at stake. The lives of the poor people in Mathare. People are getting shaved in Mathare for wearing long hair. A guy, if you're walking around with this kind of hair, unanyolewa Mathare because you're a thief. And that's what we're trying to change. Yes, you will see me fighting for a person like saying free Jimmy Wanjigi, not because that I believe in him that he's our political savior, but if that is what can happen to a billionaire, what will happen to a poor man's kid in Kibera? What will happen to a poor man's kid in Ngando? What will happen to a poor man's kid in Koch? You think you're safe? You think I'm safe? We have to ensure the total liberation of all our people, and the government is sending a very strong message by arresting a guy like Wanjigi, is to tell you that whether or not you have money, we can get to you. People have only seen 2 incidences of me on camera, but the state had an attempt on my life, casually or either fatal attempts on my life.
On that day?
Yes, 4 times. A plaincloth officer once told me, toka kwa hizi streets ama tutakutoa. And they were not joking about it. After I ran international media, they put 3 trucks outside. Left national media at around, 7, 8 p.m. As a person whose material conditions, if you can change, then change it. Wacha you fala yenye watu wanasema sijui, don't give a man fish, teach him how to fish. Teach him how to fish, na hiyo ni kazi ya serikali. If you can give him fish now, give him fish. Because now people use that excuse as a reason not to give people fish.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back, and this is Kenya Online Media. My good name is Eve Nyaga, and back with us again today is none other than revolutionary artist Kasmuel McOure. And I know we had him some time back, and we just want to have a conversation with him to do a Mali movement in Elekea, and there have been allegations here and there about him being a cloud chaser. So yeah, he has a lot of allegations to clear. Kasmuel, how are you?
Hi Eve, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
Right, so say hi to our people.
Hello fans and friends of Kenya Online Media. And you guys are doing such an amazing job. Thank you for the work that you're doing for the revolution, because you're helping us document the stories of the movement. Yes. Asanteni. Yeah.
Asante pia sana for always making time for us. Right. All right, so let's just start off. So today in the morning, we saw a video that was trending, and it was Prezo saying that Kasmuel is just nothing but a cloud chaser. And we just want to know, what's your take on that? Like, what are you doing?
I think, I don't know if he was talking about me, but if he was talking about me, remember the only thing that has brought Prezo back to relevance is him talking about me. That's if it's me. And I don't want to talk much about the 2 people, but someone on the comments sent me a comment. I was saying that these are just rich kids with no substance. But the truth of the matter is, these are rich kids with substances. I'm not going to explain any further what substances means, but these are people who've never been on the street. On what grounds? I mean, because nobody has monopoly of opinion. That they're allowed to have their own opinions, but they've done nothing in terms of liberation. If anything, the music or the art that they're doing is to maintain the status quo. We say that you have to do either, if you're an artist, be an artist of the status quo, or a revolutionary artist where you're making art of the people, art that advances pro-people agenda. And those guys are just having a recreational chat. That's totally fine. But I mean, please respect the movement and the people who are in the movement. Again, if they were not talking about me, I mean, when's the last time we had anything about Prezo?
I saw someone say that, or rather ask, like, what has he done for the movement? Because I don't remember. I don't think we saw him during the protest.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm asking. I've not seen either of these people at a protest. I've never seen them on the front line. I've not heard of comrades who've said that these people have supported them. On their social media platforms, they are not advancing pro-people agenda. All they're doing is, this is recreational for them. So I will treat them with the same amount of spite that they're trying to spite the movement. But and on the issue of being cloud chasers, anyone who's doing anything in front of a camera is seeking to elicit a particular emotion or a particular visual or visceral reaction from a person. That's a clout chaser. I don't know. I'm chasing clout by taking this interview. There's an agenda that I'm trying to advance. That is an agenda for the people, an agenda against bad governance, an agenda against corruption, an agenda against lack of accountability in government office. The people who are getting idly in front of cameras right now have only regained their voices because the politicians have gone back to doing whatever it is that they were doing. So I don't see a difference between these guys and the politicians. And again, I will just say, take my name out of that man's mouth. What puts him on the map nowadays, apart from a banger he released when I was 2 or 3 years old? So I don't know. Surely we cannot reduce my work in the movement to discussing a guy like Prezo. Yeah.
Right. So Kasmuel, the other allegations that have been on the ground, and anytime I see someone and they tell me, anytime you meet Kasmuel, Mulize, what is his political agenda? Are you doing all this to prepare? Are you setting stage for a political seat come 2027?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I'm not afraid to say this, that I'm part, whenever you see me in front of a camera right now, I'm part of a national coalition, which is a political vehicle, because we are organizing to take political power. The last time we joked around with ourselves, the last time we worked just for the sake of working, people came and signed deals. People came and signed and got job interviews based on our blood off of the street. If you want to beat your enemy, be your enemy. So these politicians have consistently taught us and told us that politics is a contact sport. Now we are getting in contact, because even the other day said that we are complaining, that the Gen Z are complaining that Gio Ruto is doing whatever it is, and Ruto has realized that public trust has gone down, and now he's going back on the campaign trail. And he said then in 2027 we are going to complain that Kimeibiwa. That's what we are saying. That now if a politician gets on top of a Prado, we will get on top of a Prado. If they go on campaigns, we will go on campaigns, because we cannot sit down here, let a few idle individuals on Twitter or whatever social platform bully us for doing civic education. People who will not defend you when you get into trouble. These are the same people who will laugh at us when we get arrested, because none of those people who are posting and reposting on Twitter showed up at the courthouse when our comrades were arrested. So that's why we're saying, and I have to make this categorically clear so that anyone who wants to talk, let them talk. What we are doing now, if we do not get a bullet revolution, we must get a ballot revolution. And how do you prepare for a ballot revolution? Is by actually going and articulating the issues. We can't just have political discussions in the realm of social space. We have to go to the ground. We have to go into the communities and ask them, what are you guys saying? What are the people in the communities actually facing? For us to figure that out. So whatever we are doing now, it's gotten to the point where the only way we can get justice for our brothers, because the government, this bread-based or theft-based government that they're calling broad-based or whatever it is, this theft-based government has shown us that they're not interested in pursuing justice for our fallen comrades. The only way we can pursue justice is if we are in those legislative houses, is if we occupy the judiciary, and if possible, if we occupy the executive. So whatever we're doing, this is a political movement, this is a political exercise. Anything that you see me doing from now with regards to communities, it is political, in the defense of the poor people, in the defense of the youth, in the defense of the people and parcels living with disability. We cannot just continue taking this as a joke. This is not influencer work. It's not, because if anything, I'm such a great musician, a performer. I'm one of the best performers in Nairobi, and I'm not even flossing. I'm one of the best educators in Nairobi when it comes to, I've worked for almost every international school here in the country, and I've consulted for schools outside the country. So it's not that I'm living a bad life. And remember, when people were talking about politics, I've been in politics before. I was a student leader, so I understand how politics works. But right now, this is a life-changing moment where the people with the voices cannot afford to cower to allegations. Yes.
So I don't know what changed, because I remember the last time we had this conversation, your headspace was not, I am preparing for a political seat come 2027. What changed?
I remember exactly what we said is we don't need to form a political movement for the Gen Zs. And that what we are doing then, because remember, at the last time we met, these people had not formed this bread-based government, this theft-based government. They're not brought those people. So we still thought that we had an opposition that was willing to keep the government in check. But now they've shown us that they're not willing. So who is the politician to go to now? There has to be there must be a politician who's for the people. Right now, we don't have politicians who are for the people. So it's upon the people, because we've taken the sovereign power back. The day the people occupied parliament on the 25th, that was a change, the day of the change. But these people have refused to acknowledge the sovereignty of the people. Now we are saying that as we continue, because we have to make short-term, mid-term, and long-term plans. The short-term plan is what we are consistently doing. And that's why I'm not just politicking. Whenever there's mass action, today, you've seen my comrades have just come in here from distributing pamphlets. After this interview, I'm going back on the streets to distribute. I don't even know if I have the pamphlets over here. Just toss me some pamphlets, because I think it's very important for us. You see, it says this is a charter for unity and democracy in Kenya. It's not a joke. We are walking on the streets distributing these things. These things do not have my name. These things have the interest of the Kenyans at heart. We are walking consistently, but that's the part which people don't see. Consistently, my shoes are getting worn out, wearing the same pair, walking in traffic, doing the exact same thing, saying, hey, this is what we mean when we say Ruto must go. But in agitation for change, people only see a very, very small part. And that's now what we are trying to say. We will not tolerate. We can't tolerate a state where now we have to not only fight the state, but only fight the people who we are fighting for. But the people who are poor acknowledge the work that we're doing. When we go into the ground, those people acknowledge the work that we're doing. And it's those people that we're working for, not these people who are comfortable in their homes. They have 3 square meals in a day. They have running water. They have electricity, and they don't have a single care in the world. All they wake up to do is tweet. All they wake up to do is criticize people. They're the children of the political class that we are fighting, people who benefited from looted land from colonial times, and they think that business is going to be business as usual. I'm not afraid to say that what I am doing, anything that I am doing is directly in line to help people organize to take political power, whether it comes through a popular insurrection or through the ballot. Whatever we are doing now, any action you see me doing involving the people is a political action driven directly against improving the lives of people. Yes.
Right. So when you talk about the coalition, when this movement was very active, because right now ni kama it's not that active, but most of the older generation were like, okay, fine, these are the demands you have. So now give us a representative, form something, and take this to the government, and let's see someone who will speak for you guys. So is that person Kasmuel right now?
No. So let me just maybe explain what I mean by that. And I'm I'm the spokesperson of the National Provisional Coordination Committee of the People's Assemblies. We comprise of 54 organizations. A few political parties are in there, and all social justice centers and all people assemblies, from as far as Turkana to Nyanza to the coast to Western. We've covered that. It's a national movement. I am not their leader. I submit to a collective. So whenever somebody sees me, if you see me talking, and especially talking on behalf of the collective, these are not fresh ideas. I'm not thinking on the go. And the collective is not subject to me. I am subject to the collective. So I go, we attend meetings. Like right now, you've met me. Some people are leaving for a meeting. They will attend the meetings, consolidate the agenda, write it down, and we talk about it through amongst the 54 organizations that are part of the coalition. Then, if at all I need to make a presser, that's where I come in. I'm given, these are the minutes that the collective talked about, do this. Or the collective, for example, needs me to go and speak at a social justice center. That's when I go there in that capacity.
Just a spokesperson.
I am the spokesperson, yes. I'm not the leader, I'm not the whatever. It's just, we are part of the secretariat. And it in due time we'll unveil it, because next week we have Katiba Day coming up. We have quite a bit of exciting things happening for the country. And by exciting, I don't mean who, I mean let them be ready for a lot of action that's happening next week. And that's the stance. With regards to this government, I've said it time without number. I'm not willing to work with this particular government, because they don't care for us. They've shown they're not interested in justice. They've shown they're not interested in eradication of corruption. They've shown that they're not interested in the people's agendas. The people I will work with are youth. I will work with youth all across any divide. And also, for us to understand this political game, we have to listen properly, because you go to the ground and you online, for example, you hate Raila Odinga, and you go to the ground and the people still love him. What are you going to tell those people? You don't just come up with these ideas because you're on Twitter and these are the booming ideas. You go to the ground and you listen. When you go to the ground, you submit yourself to the people, because these are the people who are supposed to effect that change. You will not bully them to go to the ballot. They have to buy your idea. So you can't expect me now to go to the ground and start saying, if the ground here is saying this particular narrative, you listen and you say, where are my ideas right or wrong? And then I tell them, hey, listen, guys, this is where I disagree with you. So this whole agenda of people trying to subvert and try to bully people to speak the way they're supposed to speak, I think we are far past that time, because now it became very personal. Once I've lost a friend in this thing, once my friends were arrested last week, now we said what we are going to do is defend ourselves, because you've seen today there was a video that was also trending in the morning of a guy getting arrested behind TRM. The people are just looking. They're looking at a young person getting arrested and they're doing nothing. If that were my comrades would never let me get arrested. I would never let any of my comrades get arrested. But when you're walking with a bunch of strangers, you don't know, because the Kenyans are still very fearful of this police state. Because remember, we don't have a police service, we have a police force. That's what we're trying to change. They look at this innocent boy and they're trying to accuse him of obstruction. And he's saying the person that they came to arrest has already given himself up. So how can you obstruct justice that way? Then the person who's recording the video is saying, "Nyi watu mnaona nafanyiwa hivi na mnaangalia tu." What does the person say? Tutakusaidia kwa internet. That's what people want to happen to me. And I know I have comrades in 54 organizations who will say, no, Kas, our comrade, please come here and hide. And this collective is advancing agenda that is pro-poor people. I won't be repentant one bit for acting in the best interest of the poor people, acting in the best interest of the collective to which I submit. So if someone has a problem, let them come and interrogate, listen to the ideas of our collective. If they don't love the ideas, let them go and form their own collectives. Because it's a democratic nation that we're trying to say. But what we are saying is, we will do the best to ensure that our comrades in Kibra, our comrades in Yolane, our comrades in Ungem, our comrades in Koch, our comrades all over, from Ngong to Turkana to Kule Chini, everywhere, all our comrades are taken care of. Yes, so we won't tolerate anyone just sitting in their mansions, in their father's 6-bedroom mansion, because they're an IT expert, type out a letter with graphic design and a fist in the air, and tell us that we are occupying a particular thing, and they've not submitted to the collective.
Are you speaking to anyone in particular?
No, I'm just speaking to anyone, because these people are random people. Because people get very excitable on the internet and start sending posters. We're saying, as a collective, we will have to vet these posters. If they're in line with the goals of the collective, we will jump behind it. We will support it. That's why we are supporting any social justice center event. I will be there. Because if I say right now that we are going to do civic education in Mombasa, the collective will come with me to Mombasa. That's why the support of the collective can never be overlooked. And that's why we're talking about it. Having 54 organizations together supporting you, that's different. That's how you organize to take political power. So that's what it is. Now me, I'm a part of a collective, and I know my collective my collective takes care of me, and I do my best to represent the best interests of my collective. Yeah.
Right. So speaking of, kwa ground, we've seen Morara Kebaso.
Yes.
He's been doing, some work, just
Yes.
going to the ground and just uncovering some of the projects that have been paid for and are still not fully done. Not even delivered. So what's your take on that?
He's doing such an amazing job. Morara aendelee kabisa, endelea kufinya kabisa. Nataka blood pressure ya serikali. Sasa zile wanakaa hivi, wakienda kutafuta Morara sijui wapi, sisi tunaweka hapa maandamano ama prayer day. Wakirudi huku kutuma anti-riot, sisi tunaenda huko pali Morara alikuwa. Keep on doing it. And if you're a young person who's listening to the sound of my voice, ask yourself, what is it that Kasmuel is not doing? What is it that Comrade Wanjira is not doing? What is it that Comrade Tarus is not doing? What is it that Comrade Shakira is not doing? Comrade Mamka, Comrade Kinuthia, or Buka, or Morara? Where is that gap? And you fill that gap, you occupy it. Because let's not reduce this to, as I've said before, a revolution is not a popularity contest. The fact that Morara has unearthed those things, if we do not support him in ensuring that the legal minds see ways of prosecuting that thing or litigating it, if we do not go to the communities and say, let's rally up and ensure this thing is finished and let's chase any person who comes to relaunch this project, there is nothing he will have achieved. He will just have entertained us. If I just come for these interviews and not go into the ground and not organize to take political power, it will be 2027 and we'll have the exact same legislators in the house. This is not a popularity contest. It's not at who versus who. That is not.
They are really pitting you two against each other, and they're claiming that You know, he's taken the spotlight because initially it was Kasmuel. Sasa, it's now Morara.
And good for him kabisa bana. This thing is not easy. You think I wanted it? I didn't want to be known as a politician, at least not now. As I didn't want to be known as this Jew. I wanted to play music and kiss my girlfriend and play with my children. That's what I want to do. I want to go out and do funny TikToks with my nieces. That's what I want to do. But now that this is, if that's how people are thinking about it, one, it's not going to stop me from doing anything, because I'm very clear with what my end is. What the end is for the Kenya that we want is very clear in my head. So whether or not there are cameras or not, I will keep on doing it. And to be fair, I'm not new to leadership. I've done quite a couple of fellowships. I was part of the Young African Leaders Initiative when Tyler Perry and Beyonce has a philanthropic wing called Be Good, that was sponsoring 15 individuals from Africa, 5 from Nigeria, 5 from Kenya, 5 from South Africa. I was one of the 15 representing the country. So in terms of leadership, I also can hold my own. But now what we are seeing, and why I'm very passionate about this thing, is people have reduced. This is not reality television. This is not what Akina Prezo used to do in magazines. This is not podcasting. Our lives are in danger. When those people say the things that they say, the best that will happen is someone will hate them. If I walk around here not being safe, my life is at stake. The lives of the poor people in Mathare. People are getting shaved in Mathare for wearing long hair. A guy, if you're walking around with this kind of hair, unanyolewa Mathare because you're a thief. And that's what we're trying to change. That's what we're saying is absolutely and utterly unacceptable. We cannot live this life as slaves in our own land. So I'm very passionate about it because I've been exposed to those realities and I'm very aware of what my privilege is. And if I have a voice, I have to use this voice to spread ideas and agendas that are pro-people and especially pro-poor people, so that we liberate everyone, because none of us is free until all of us are free. Yes.
Right. So do you think Morara should also be doing, I think, should it be two-sided? Should he also be showing us these are the projects that have been completed?
He doesn't need to. That's not his job. Even this job that he's doing out of the goodwill of his heart. He's doing it because he's fed up, like all of us. I'm just saying, if enough Kenyans were fed up, let me tell you, Ruto would not be president. Because now imagine, let's just say 100 Kenyans were as fed up. Right now, you have a measly 2 people you're trying to compare. Now imagine if there was 100 of us. I can't even think about it. I can't envision it. If you have 100 people consistently at rotation, exposing, showing that, because when will he do his own work? Because he has a family that he needs to feed. He has a practice that anytime he's out of the office, he's losing out on business. But what is this attitude? What is this attitude that these people have? That they just expect someone will be doing the work for them. This work should have been done by the government. If the government did what it had promised it would do, Morara would not be a nothing anything. Yes, but we have a failed state. That's why Morara is getting away with the things that is going to those places and showing that this is what the government has been getting away with. Yeah, so he's not obliged to do anything. If anything, he should be pursuing his business and taking care of his wife, who has supported him for years. But now he's forced to be on the road. That's the thing. Here in Kenya, you can't eat in peace. You go back, you cannot even lie with your spouse. It is a terrible state. It is a terrible state that we are in, and that's what we need to do, fix it. Yes.
Okay. So I was still on Twitter. I think either yesterday and the past few days, and some people are like, Kasmuel has been compromised. He's been bought by the other side. He's no longer fighting for the movement that we started. He's no longer fighting for the things that we were fighting for. Because you've been spotted with politicians, the likes of Millie Odhiambo, Mike Sonko, Jimmy Wanjigi. Like, what is going on? Some people feel like you've betrayed the movement. You've betrayed us.
First, I would say, I want to see the specific action. Yeah, I want someone to say, this is what that betrayal looks like. This is what he has said that is not for the movement. This is what he has done that is not for the movement. Because if it's photos, everyone has photos with everyone. But 2, when I went to meet Millie, and when we went there with Comrade, I remember we went with Kimanzi, we went with Shakira and Wangui. We are following up on a petition for IEBC. for youth representation in IEBC to ensure there's one young man, one young woman, and one young person living with disability. That's why we went to see, and we went to follow up on a petition we had filed in Bunge on 9th of August. Millie sits in the House Business Committee. To give you an example, universities right now still don't have that one man, one vote because it's tucked under somewhere in the business committee meeting. So we are going to advance the agenda of the people. That's why I'm not apologetic for any meeting I've had with any politician, because now we will get into a game where I'll be seen and then I'll be coming to the cameras to say this is what I was doing. Remember, the same people who are yapping had said that I am not their leader. If my coalition is happy with the work I am doing, if my collective calls me and asks me, Kasmuel, what were you seen doing with this politician? I will explain. But to random people who are tweeting and never show up for action, people who have been approached to be a part of the collective and have refused, then it becomes a different conversation. So right now, what I care for is the agenda of the people of Kenya, the poor people. You've seen we were walking in the ghetto at night. If you are not advancing a pro-people agenda, you cannot walk the ghetto at night. We were not driving, we were walking. We've done all these informal settlements, and now we are trying to listen what is the ground really saying. As long as I am advancing the agendas of those people, I don't care about anyone else. As long as I am advancing the agenda of our collective, which is the pursuit of the total happiness of our people, the liberation of our masses, the liberation of our democracy and our constitution, then the rest of them are sideshows, if I'm going to be honest. Those are just
I'm not going to explain any photo that we are going to see you take with any politician.
It cannot be any politician as well. To be fair, I will not just be seen with anyone. I cannot I cannot just go to meet politicians. That's not what I do. Anything that I do, and remember, this is not the first time that I've been approached by politicians. Throughout the movement, even when the movement, people were saying, was on a high, when we were at the peak of protests, I was approached by almost all political parties in the country. Yes. The parties which even offered me nominations, parties which said that we want you to be our Secretary General, parties which offered me, they said they would give me work. I was promised to work in counties. So it's not that I'm also at ECG, the richest human being. I would have folded. But I said, no, this is for the pursuit of the highest good of our people. And if I've been used as a tool to liberate the people, then I cannot adulterate myself like that. Yeah, so anything that people have, if it's a particular thing, because people are saying you've been bought because they've seen a photo, then I will pull out photos of people who are with Ruto. Remember, part of these people who are yapping the loudest are the people who blogged for this government. These are the people who convinced us that this government is the best government, and they called us names and they called us tribal slurs. Then suddenly they've changed the narrative. Suddenly I'm being told, don't walk around with a person like Gaucho. Gaucho, who has a very firm understanding of how the ghetto works. These are middle-class children who live in Lavington and where. And instead of us liberating ourselves, we are falling into that trap that Kimani Ichung'wah was trying to make it look like this revolution is a rich versus poor people thing. We have to work with the people who understand the true needs of what's happening in the ghetto. This is where the NGOs got it wrong. Now you can see the NGOs cannot help us drive a political vehicle. We have to partner with any mind of the people, especially young people who understand how these things work. Then ensure that we do not have violence between us. Because a person like Gaucho and I, we don't see eye to eye ideologically. At all. He's saying he's pro-government right now through by the fact that he supports Right Honorable Raila Odinga. And right now, I'm saying, as in the heat of the moment, I will not listen to whatever this government has to say. But when I meet Gaucho and he's going into the ghetto to ensure that those people get food, I will say, Gaucho, shika this extra 200, top up and buy those people an extra bottle of water. Shika 300, buy them an extra packet of unga. Right now, it's not about, people have gone back. You know, the TL has settled. There's no drama now. People are still talking about, people have gone back to relationship gossip. They've gone back to photo dumps. People have gone, forgetting that this is the same country where you saw the brains of a young person lying on Parliament grounds, on the road. Same people where guys like Rex, a child, Eve, was shot in a school bus. You can't call a bullet a stray bullet. Was shot by a police, Ryan Mwendwa from Marion Schools, in a school bus. These are not normal times. An autistic boy was shot in Nakuru, who had done nothing. He was going to take his brother from school. Journalists were getting shot. I don't know.
Was Kitengela?
Yes, I don't think why you're not taking this thing seriously. Kite, very recently, Akina Bob Njagi and the Lanton brothers are abducted from matatus, For doing what? Going to say, free a Kenyan citizen. Yes, you will see me fighting for a person like saying, free Jimmy Wanjigi, not because that I believe in him, that he's our political savior. But if that is what can happen to a billionaire, what will happen to a poor man's kid in Kibera? What will happen to a poor man's kid in Ngando? What will happen to a poor man's kid in Koch? You think you're safe? You think I'm safe? We have to ensure the total liberation of all our people, and the government is sending a very strong message by arresting a guy like Wanjigi, is to tell you that whether or not you have money, we can get to you. It's sending a message to us, the young people. So that's why we are like, you must free everybody. Unless you have them under a criminal charge, then that is a totally different story. That's what we are saying. These other thing guys are just playing politics. They're just playing nothing but rubbish politics. Yeah.
So why do you think, Kenyans have forgotten about why we started this movement? Because it's been quiet, Mandamano pia last time, people didn't show up. I think most of the people that were on the streets on that day were journalists. Yeah.
Kenyans have not forgotten. It's the influencers. It's the people who have the big accounts on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Those are the guys who've forgotten, or TikTok. The Kenyans. The price of bread is still the price of bread. The price of kerosene is still the price of kerosene. When the finance bill comes back, and I dare the government to bring back that finance bill, they will see. They thought that the first Mandamano was something. They're going to see what a true Mandamano looks like. It is not going to be business as usual. So, Kenyans have not forgotten. But for the last protest, for example, there was... you see what happened in 2007, 2008, using post-elections, where the metric was tribalism. Now, what's happening is it's ageism. It's reversed, though, where you find the cops were stopping people, telling them, show us your ID. If you're a young person, you go back home. They had set up barricades from all the major roads leading into Nairobi. The 9 ones, Wayaki, Thika, all of them that are leading into Nairobi had roadblocks. Because there are young people who are supposed to come into the city that didn't come. And we have the data. We're very scientific about it. So people didn't show up, one, because there was also very, very heavy harassment. People have only seen 2 incidences of me on camera, but the state had an attempt on my life. Casually or either way, fatal attempts on my life.
On that day?
Yes, 4 times. A plainclothes officer once told me, toka kwa hizi streets ama tutakutoa. And they were not joking about it. After I ran international media, they put 3 trucks outside. Left national media at around, 7, 8 p.m.
Oh.
Yes.
When you went in, you left at 7?
I never left. When I went in that last time, I never left. With police trucks all around. I'm like, all these trucks for one person. You think I'll run a mandamano without the people? So that's now what we are saying. Now, we have to, this is a long game. People want it to be a sprint because the masses are always hungry for entertainment. The masses are hungry for blood, and they're baying for blood. And that's what I'm saying. I will not give my blood to the masses, nor will I give it to the state. If my blood has to flow, it has to flow for the interest of the poor people. It has to flow for the interest of the Kenyan people and the liberation at large. There I'm willing to lose my life. But for cheap retweets, because somebody's going to insult me on TikTok or whatever, let them insult me. I'm totally fine. Yes.
So when you talk about the coalition, is that a way of changing strategy to make sure that we still achieve what you're fighting for? Because clearly Mandamano sasa is not working.
It's an advancement of the strategy. Because remember, parts of this coalition were doing it alone. So you'll find one social justice center has organized, organized Kule, that People's Assembly has organized Kule, nini. Then we realized, united we stand, divided we fall. So we've said, let's bundle together. And that's why we are on a very aggressive campaign to ask people, please join us. Join this coalition. So that, one, we defend each other. We are able to litigate our matters and reduce the workload. So now you don't have to cover the whole country. Now when we sit down, if we have 54 people and we say we want to do civic education, if I were to do the tour alone as Kasmuel, it's very difficult. But if you're doing it and saying, us will take care of Nairobi caucus, you'll take care of Kakamega, you'll take care of Shinyalu, you'll take care of Kulechini, it becomes very easy. We can do it. You can do a couple of rounds, and before you realize, we have a whole ballot revolution. That's how it works. A collective is where it's at. It's just that people are obsessed with seeing wanatakanga stay raw, because watu walikuwa wanaona movie lazima ikuwe na killer ama ikuwe na stay raw. People want to see, yes, and then the protagonist. That's what people want to see. But we are saying that's a very backward way of thinking. Us in the collective, we're thinking of the best interest of the people that we represent. Yes.
You've talked about Kenyans have not forgotten,
Yes.
but the people who have forgotten are the influencers, you know, the people who are tweeting. Maybe there are people who actually benefited from the movement. Maybe when the movement started, they were pro reject, Ruto must go, nini, but eventually kuna watu, they were bought.
So many. I don't even care about excuse me. I don't even care about the people who are bought, but the people who even fundraise in the name of the movement, both abroad and locally. Walipiga kipindi na movement. That's now why what really angered me. If it were up to me, I would have cancelled Nane Nane. If I knew the things I knew the day before, would have cancelled that thing.
What did you learn?
That people have been making money the same way these politicians are getting paid. Is the same way certain individuals, and there are many in the country, and some are outside the country, were making money. While sisi tumeka hapo, I've quit my work because I believe all of us are in the struggle together. There are comrades who've walked from Kibra to come to demonstrate, walked from Koch on Madare on foot to come and demonstrate. Tunaka hivyo chini, someone says, Kaz, you're doing a good job, sends me a 5K. I'm like, hey guys, let's cool a lunch together. But people made millions out of this while we are still disorganized. That's now what we've said is this is not going to happen again. We will not allow anyone to misuse the collective. We'll not allow anyone to manipulate or play with the lives of people's children. Where when you're campaigning, these people are called hustlers. And now when after you're done campaigning, you've gotten your seat, these people are now being called goons. Now we've said we've refused. I'm not here to discuss individuals. I think it's important for us to keep it issue-based. But when we have the liberation, when we get because remember right now, anyone who's against the government is our friend. Anyone who's a Democrat or a patriot, you're actually welcome to join that coalition. Because one, it helps us insulate, find ways of fundraising safely. There's greater accountability, but also we can agitate for political change because there are several political parties within that organizations that have been existing.
Political parties in the coalition.
Political parties that's why we're saying this is a political vehicle. There are political parties within the national, the provisional coordination committee of the People's Assemblies. Yeah, amongst the 54, there are about 10 political parties. Yes. So what we're saying is now we are organizing to take political power. Because
tell us maybe a few of the parties there.
I could, but I have not. This happens. I really wish then I would have taken the meeting, then we did the interview, because then is when I would ask, are we ready to go public? But don't worry, next week we'll go public. We'll even publish the 54. Remember, last week it was 48, now we are at 54. Maybe it will have grown by next week, but we will publish it. We will publish it and you'll know these are the people that
not yet official.
It is official, we've just not publicized it yet. Yes. Mm.
So the other day, Eric did a press. And he stated that he wants to do a referendum just to make sure that the number of counties are reduced from 47 to 8. Is that a cause you would actually support?
That's a cause I would greatly support because, there's over-representation. And I'm keen to know what's in the petition, what he's talking about, because I've not been approached by anyone from his team. Neither has anyone in the collective, because we would have known about it. And remember, part of what we've been crying about is over-representation. So that's an agenda which we can support. So it will
He was talking about.
Yes, we'll read through. If it makes sense, we'll throw all our support behind him. But also, we urge everybody who has an agenda for the country, who wants us to work together, just come and submit to the collective. What the collective does, it does not kill your individual brand. In fact, we do not encourage anyone to get lost in the collective. Do your individual things, grow these things, grow your fan bases, grow your political bases, so that when we organize to take political power, we consolidate and we bring all these forces together. Because that's what these people who are looting our country have always done. They've given us a very clear blueprint. Why then don't we take this and change the whole system as we talk about? Because now we don't want to be part of, as Comrade Shiro said, we don't want to be part of this same sewer system. We're changing the whole drainage. So that's what we are doing. I'll read through it, and if Eriko, if you're listening, send us the petition. Also, bring your organization, bring resources that you have to the collective. I'll reach out to Eric. I'll call him because I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. So in this collective, is everybody covered? Because the movement was a Gen Z movement. So what about the coalition? Who is there?
I'm in the coalition. A lot of the people who are on the streets are in the coalition, and who are on the streets, Gen Zs. Yes. So it's see now Gen Z is generation zote. Because remember, there's political parties which have members who are not necessarily young, and that's why we're saying in the last interview, I said we don't need to form a Gen Z political party because why are we excluding other people? Yes. So the members who are progressive and believe that we need to change the country, all of them are in that coalition. A comrade was Shikwad. I jump on a Senke right now. I go to the police station. Like that, everyone is taken care of in that collective. And when they hear I'm in trouble, people who are like, no, don't sleep there. We've had this. Come, go and sleep there. Those increasing those bases, taking care of all our members. That's what we are doing. And remember, when we are together, it's so hard to divide us. So you'll sit down, you think, oh, whatever you're doing is getting to me. But now the person who's looking at my social media has not seen anything new, so I don't see it. Yes. So they just show me, or sometimes when I get cheeky, I steal it, the phone and look at it. I'm like, oh yeah. But the people who are taking care of the thing, it doesn't even get to me. Yeah.
So now that the president still has a few years to go to 2027.
No.
Okay. Really, he's not gonna get there. Yeah. Ideally, how it's supposed to be.
Not how it's supposed to be. Is he should not even have gotten there in the first place. So let's say theoretically speaking, because he still has a few years. Okay, go ahead.
So as a coalition, are you gonna give him time to actualize and see his government work? Ama, you're just watching, and the next time he does something that Kenyans are not happy with, then now because you have a movement, you have a political vehicle, you can actually act. Bigger and better.
Outgoing President Ruto's problem is time, because if you give him time, he'll lie, and he'll lie again. He'll expose his inefficiencies through himself. He can't. He lies all the time, and all the time Ruto lies, and that is his nature. Not wow. But this is not about giving time. It's about reclaiming the dignity of our people. Yes. So if the dignity can come today, we'll take that dignity today. Anyone who's acting in an indignifying manner, denying people's children water, food, education, that's not a person who will give time. Anyone. Right now, even if we go out right here, we can even start a mass action right now. That's actually, we'll do a little thing even today. Because we're fed up. Yeah, we're fed up. So anyone, we are not talking about Ruto or anyone right now, I think, and tell me, hey, Kas, could you consider maybe refining your idea this way? Could you consider pursuing this particular avenue? Yeah, but there's a lot of action coming out. Remember, we're going to get people IDs. We're going to stand with our teachers. We're going to stand with our doctors. So expect a bit of action. A bit of action. Yeah, a bit of action in a few days, but a lot of action in the coming months. There's a lot happening. Yeah, it's just begun. Now remember that time we were doing it separately. Now we've come together. The day the government arrested us on the 8th of August, it brought all the ringleaders, all the key leaders who had never met. I'd never met those people. Now they met, they needed in a cell a whole night, they were beaten and brutalized. So now they're unified by pain and their ideals. Then we spent the whole day on Friday in court. You just you wait and see. Just you wait and see. Yeah.
Interesting. So the other question that I've gotten a lot, I don't know if you've said this before, and people keep telling me and asking me, when you meet Kasmuel, just ask him, what does he do for a living?
Right.
What do you do for a living? Because you're always out on the streets, you're always out on TV doing interviews, you're looking good. What do you do for a living?
I'm demonstrating so that I can have that living. I'm looking for that living currently because I'm lucky. I've been privileged to work with organizations that were very generous to me. I teach, I consult, business-wise, I give talks to people and institutions, do team buildings, and these things, I do them at such a high level of excellence that people underestimate what excellence can do. Yeah, because someone will just look at you and think you're a YouTuber, but it pays you. It pays your bills, it does the thing. So if you pursue your dreams excellently, but also I don't want to be the person who peddles the narrative that you're not making it because you're not working hard enough. I have to acknowledge that I have been blessed by God to get to the point where people see a very specific thing in me and they're willing to invest in that thing. Yeah. So it affords me a very flexible schedule. That's how even I was when I was in campus. I was just vibing, skiving class, doing what, coming back, trying to reschedule. So as a person who mostly does a lot of freelance work, I'm able to reschedule some of the things. But this period does also ensure that I'm effectively not working. And looking good is not necessarily a sign of you being rich or wealthy. Unaweza kuwa tu SDA. Lazima uko na masuti kama
Ufai kukaa kama shida zako.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Si lazima ukae shida zako.
When you hear you're doing music, the other time, you're busy dancing and everything. So, people are curious.
A lot of things, even swimming, sometimes doing sports things and those kinds of coordinations. But yeah, I live a very modest life and also very privileged life where I have friends who are willing to just invest in me. A friend will just come and say, oh, man, I've covered rent for you this month. Yeah, I'm a blessed man. I have people who just very, very family believe in me. Like this whole Mandamano period. There's a friend who's just, anytime, man, he calls. And I was on a call before he got on this and he was like, come here. I know he wants to finish me with food. That's the joke I usually make. I'm like, the state has sent him to finish me with food. And I'm very grateful because there's days when, man, nakaivi nimekaukiwa and it's like, oh, come for supper. Come to this particular hotel and eat. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, so that's, if you have a community around you, you don't need money. That's what we've realized. That now we are spreading that community. I'm saying this is a person who's been out of work for how long? Since Maandamano started. I've still been able to sustain my lifestyle. Because I have people who believed in me, my friends. I really wish I were to afford foundation ingeona application nafanywa wapi wanipatie niache kusumbua marafiki zangu. But I've had friends who've come through for me, a good one kabisa. And that's it. Now that's what we are doing. Now if someone comes through for me, I ensure I come through for other people. Yes. So that's why now when we go even to a base and they're doing some work, we ensure we invest in that work. Yes. And if you can't invest in the work, alleviate their hunger at that point, because people are konja. You think that because you've never run out of unga or rice, that these people know it. Kwa getu jana naambia, yes, sina job, but at least niki hustle leza pata mayai mbili for supper ya mimi na wife. As a person whose material conditions, if you can change, then change it. Wacha you fala yenye watu wanasema sijui don't give a man fish, teach him how to fish. Teach him how to fish, na hiyo ni kazi ya serikali. If you can give him fish now, give him fish, because now people use that excuse as a reason not to give people fish. If you have some, that now that's my modus operandi. If I meet a child on the street, you give them something. If you meet a person, if you can help, you help them. Because I have been helped. I'm not here because of Gio, I'm from a rich family. No, I have been helped. There are people who've helped my destiny. I've encountered destiny helpers, and if I can be that for another person, I'm not gonna do anything else but that. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kasmuel. So maybe some parting words, parting shots as we maliza.
The movement continues, and we are in pursuit of a just state, of a new republic, and we have to organize to take political power. We have to rally, and I'm inviting you to the coalition that we have. The collective solves almost all your problems, because we also pull our resources together. We talk about this great accountability, so we are insulated from personal greed. Because if I was just doing this thing on my own, I would have put up a pay bill and said, hey guys, please support me in this way. But I've shied away from that. But people have been so kind. People who have my number. Someone sends you 100 bob, 200 bob, 5,000. It's life changing. So don't give up. Don't give up on it, regardless of what people say of the movement. Do not give up on what we are fighting for. And I believe that we're going to achieve this through Kenya. And let us organize to take that political power. Let us work hard and go into the ground. Sell your bid. I want to see all young people positioning themselves in ways in which they can enter the legislative house. All of us. I want to see women in that legislative house, such that we are going back on the streets to say that the two-third gender rule has not been met because there are so many women in parliament. That's what I want to see. So you have to organize to take political power. There can be no mobilization without organization. And it starts at an individual. Make that revolution. Work. Let it be you. I can't be saying I'm a revolutionary and I am sexually assaulting or harassing women. I can't say I'm a revolutionary and I'm a bully to the less privileged. I can't say I'm a revolutionary and I'm stealing money. It starts as a personal work. Then you take it into a cell. Then it grows and grows. Then now we have a healthy society. And that's part of... And also, guys, enter those places which you think are downtrodden. Sit down with those people. That's where the real political education happens. Not on your favorite podcast on YouTube. Not in that newspaper. Not in what you think. Those ideas, that wild ideas you get in your wet dreams. No. The real political education happens if it is in pursuit of changing the material conditions of the people, and that's what we're trying to do. Enter those bases. And there's something we're doing with Wanjera, where we're just walking around and we're just talking to people, and she's such an amazing comrade, and we've done a couple of mtas, so expect to see a lot more of us going into those streets and explaining this is what we mean, this is what we are doing. And we've killed tribalism effectively by working together, just she and I. Yeah, we've killed it. It is an unprecedented pair. It's an unholy matrimony, if you think about it tribally. And talking of matrimony, why didn't you come for our wedding? We were supposed to get married a particular Sunday. What happened?
I know. I don't know. I think I did not get the memo.
Let's work on that.
Let's reschedule, right?
Let's reschedule. Yeah. Let's also keep an open mind. But long live the revolution. Long live the revolution. And it's in our time. You know, there are decades when nothing happens, and there are days when decades happen. We are living in the days when decades happen, where you start in the morning, and in the evening, the whole political sphere of the country has changed. There's so much that I've learned in this past couple of days. Even in hanging out with those politicians, I've understood this is the reason why we can never beat politicians. Those people are very well organized. Those politicians we have in those houses, they are very well organized. And for us to beat them, it cannot be spontaneous. Yes, it cannot be. We have to organize very scientifically. You have to know specifically, even if it's votes. In terms of strategy, this is my predicted range. They know. Sisi bado tunakaa hapa tunasema oh here, oh there. Oh, have you seen these politicians insulting each other of late? No, it's only guys in the movement. And it's only not guys in the movement, it's a few naysayers who are looking for relevance. That cloud which they're accusing me of, they're trying to use my name to drum up hate, and it's not happening. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you expect that to happen. But even if you unfollow me, and if you're following me because you want me to play to your tune, and your tune is not for the people, please unfollow me right now, because I will not stop doing what I'll do. I need you to block me, because I'll keep on doing these things until we truly liberate our people. Yeah. So you just say whatever it is that you want, but also we welcome you to the collective. Bring your resources to the collective, and we will be. Don't worry, I'm not antagonistic. Come to the collective. Yes, and together we'll change this country. Yes.
Thank you so much, Kasmuel, for coming through.
Thank you for having me, Mama. Yeah. Yes.
See you on our wedding day.
Yes, see you at the wedding. We have to sit like a couple this year. And
See you at the wedding. Anyway, guys, okay. So you've heard from Kasmuel. Yeah, and don't forget to keep it Kenya Online Media for more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.